This is Ife in the morning of the coronation of Enioni. It was serene and expectant. The last time the town saw the coronation of an Oni was 35 years ago. So now the atmosphere in Ife was electric. It is a new dawn in Ile Ife, a new life and a new beginning. And that beginning is symbolized by the tree at the Okemogon Shrine. Can you see the tree now? It is blossoming, not like the other time we came here. When we came here the other time, it was cut, just to symbolize the days of the then Oni. Now there is a new Oni in town, and the tree is blossoming, looking very fresh. And that is the natural transition Ife is going through now. Fresh, new beginning, and hopeful. The tree at Okemogon Shrine will stand tall and never to be cut. It is the beginning of a new era in Yoruba history. In Ife, the era of the new Arole Odudua, Oni Adei in Iton, has given the Yoruba nation a new ground for optimism. The people are dreaming of a prosperous future. Prior to the coronation, the whole of Ife was one large billboard of salutation. The goodwill was overwhelming. Its expression is no less so. On the day of the coronation, the guest attendants locked Ife, many to keep a date with history.
There won't be another coronation of the Oni of Ife in my lifetime, and because of it I decided to come.
In my own life, I can see the way they crown the new Oba of Ife.
There are hundreds of my brothers traders from Kano who arrive Ife days to the coronation to take advantage of the event there. Many were happy they came. The coronation of the new Oni in Iton was actually the last stage of an extensive process in Ife land. Onis don't come easy. Their responsibility is likewise. In Yoruba tradition, when an Oni wears the traditional crown Ari, he personifies Odudua. He took the powers Odudua took, and that transforms him to be the leader of the Yoruba nation. One of the first major events leading to the emergence of Oba in Iton and the new Oni was the reserve of the four ruling houses of Ife to don the ownership to the Gesi ruling house. This house last produced an Oni 135 years ago. The new Oni is starting the second half of a century of Onis of Ife, starting from Odudua. Well, the coronation of the new Oni is a watershed in the history of the Yoruba land generally, and Ife in particular. Now, because they have a leader now that will lead them to the 21st century, or the advanced phase of the 21st century. But more than that, already the Oni has outlined an 11-point agenda. One interesting aspect of the coronation was that the new Oni's father was also competent to be Oni, but his son was selected instead. His response was spiritual.
Whatever happens in man's life is preordained by the Almighty God. It's just grace.
It was an extensive celebration all the way in Ife, but the elders of Ife want the new monarch to unite the Yoruba Obas, bring prosperity to the nation, and also to bring unity to the Yoruba land.
According to Yoruba oral history, the earth was covered with water before Olodumare sent a cock to spread sound across the surface of the earth, and it subsequently became habitable for humans. Yoruba history also has it that Olokun is the mother of all waters, and as such regarded as the goddess of oceans and wealth, and is worshipped by its devotees. Olokun was and is still worshipped in Ife, Benin, and Lagos here in Nigeria before it was embraced and worshipped in Cuba.
There is nothing, like I said. If you're looking for child, if you're looking for prosperity, there's nothing you're looking for, and you will not get there. And I don't even know whether you noticed that the color of that water and the color of the ocean is the same. The two colors that ocean usually bring out, greenish blue and blue.
If you do all the sacrifice and everything that's supposed to do here, the Olokun in Lagos, if you throw something down here, you will see it in Lagos. You will see it in Lagos. That is what our forefathers told us. And it's intact up to today.
During the olden days, if somebody wants a child, the person will come here and pray, and then he will get the child. Anything you want, If you come here and pray, you get it.
Olokun is regarded as the goddess of sea and wealth, and it is in recognition of the importance of Olokun to the socio-cultural history of the Yoruba people that this imposing statue was erected some years ago at the heart of Ife to remind the Yoruba people of one of their cherished possessions, carted away by the Europeans. At the celebration of Olokun festival in Ife, the Yeyelua, or the Queen of the Oni, leads the sacrifice while adherents pray for prosperity. Closely related to Olokun in the spiritual realm is Yeyemolu. Yeyemolu was one of the queens of Oduduwa, but was barren and later transformed into a well within the palace. Ever since then, Yeyemolu is regarded as the head of all the palace queens, and sacrifice is offered to it. The well is uncovered, but produces very clean water to bless people.
Yeyemolu said, I will become something that will be beneficial to the entire mankind. Yeyemolu gives life and blesses people and blesses everybody within the palace. You cannot just take it out of the palace.
Oni Ogunwusi believes Ile-Ife has a lot to offer in terms of tourism and spirituality.
We have a lot of heritage sites. We have Ark of Noah in Ife. We have Tower of Babel. We have so many heritage sites. Yeyemolu is there. And these are spirits, and they're still alive. And we call them divine spirits. And most of them are even angels to God Almighty, our Creator, the Creator of heavens and earth. But people don't know. They think anytime things like this are happening, it's very negative. It has some negative undertone.
They should please, on behalf of the Baba Oni and the 16 kingmakers of Ife and Yoruba entirely, they should please to come and look after the deities, 200 deities in Ile-Ife, so that everybody will come all over the world to come and testify that this is the source of mankind.
Ile-Ife is regarded as the cradle of Yoruba race, and as such referred to as the source where the Yoruba deities are held in high esteem. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ile-Ife, Osun State.
Ilewara community is a small community in Nigeria's southern Osun State. It's a community of not more than 500 people. However, life in this community was extremely challenging for most of the community members before the intervention of the Millennium Development Goals. They are benefiting from the overview of public expenditure initiative of the federal government of Nigeria, adopted after Nigeria received the debt relief gains from the Paris Club and creditors. Nigeria's federal government provided 100 billion naira in its 2006 budget to some ministries, departments and agencies for intervention in designated debt relief gains funded Millennium Development Goals projects. These projects were designed in conjunction with the existing sector strategies of the government to take place within the institutional framework of public expenditure systems and be implemented by relevant MDAs. Through this came about the M&E mechanism adopted to monitor and evaluate public expenditure and the Millennium Development Goals. The MDGs projects supervised by the M&E team are planned and executed in a transparent manner that can easily be tracked and appraised by Nigerians and the international community.
To ensure that the various resources approved for various projects and programs under the MDGs are channeled appropriately to the projects for which they were approved. And also is to ensure that the various government ministries, departments and agencies followed the implementation plan that was approved for them.
With this, members of Ilewara can testify to what has been produced from the hard work of the M&E initiative, whose main objective is to provide dependable expenditure tracking and impact assessment in the short term.
First is for us to demonstrate to Nigerians as well as members of the international community, that the debt relief gains is actually working in Nigeria. Then apart from that, we also evaluate the impact of the projects and programs that are being implemented.
Our visit to this community revealed wonders. It was here we met Mr. Moses, the man in charge of the piggery farm in the community. The 59-year-old pig farmer has, since the start of this initiative, noticed great changes in his life and that of his family and friends.
Since they helped us, things have been going well. Now I can feed my family.
Not only are the people of Ilewara enjoying the tasty dishes prepared from the meat of these pigs, but they are also benefiting from the sale of these pigs. A well-grown pig could sell for over $300 depending on the health and size of the animal. Youths and parents who had no jobs in the past are now employed in this piggery, which helps make ends meet.
This program changed the life of members of community. For those people who don't have any work to do, so it helped them to get something to do and to get money to send their children to school and to feed themselves.
Before this initiative, things were difficult, but with the intervention of MDG, we're able to at least develop this site. So it's a welcome development.
Following its endorsement of the Millennium Declaration, Nigeria has clearly demonstrated its commitment to the realization of the MDGs by 2015.
The regale of royalty, splendor of culture and tradition, convergence of people from different walks of life and tribes, all were beautifully arrayed at the Olojo Festival in Ile-Ife. The Olojo Festival is used to celebrate the day of creations when, according to Yoruba legends and history, God, popularly known as Eledumare in Yoruba, created the first day. Residents and tourists who had come to witness this year's Olojo Festival had gathered at the Ile Odua Palace of the Oni of Ife, waiting anxiously for hours to catch a glimpse of the progenitor of the Yoruba race, wearing the sacred Adeare, a crown believed to have been sent down by God when he created the day, and only worn once a year during the Olojo Festival by every sitting Oni of Ife. The height of the festival came when Oni Adeyeye Ogunwusi, Ojaja II, whose turn it was to adorn the Are crown for the first time since becoming the 51st Oni of Ife in December 2015, emerged from his Ile Odua Palace to the cheers and shouts of crowds. Thereafter, the Oni embarked on the traditional procession to Oke Imogun, the ancestral shrine of Ogun, the Yoruba god of iron, and Idiaje, before returning to his palace. Tourists and residents say it is time for government to develop such festivals in the country to find a way out of the current economic downturn due to overdependence on oil.
He came at the right time because since he was installed as the king of Ile-Ife, you see the development going on in Ile-Ife, in terms of opening up, Ile-Ife for visitors. And the first thing he did, I think, which is very, very right, is to declare Ife a tourist zone.
This is the crown that was bequeathed to Oni by Oduduwa. Oduduwa was the first one that wore that crown. And that crown that has been worn by previous Oni, and this is the 51st one. So it's a special crown that is never seen in any other place in Yoruba land except in Ife.
The festival indeed lived up to its billings as one of the traditional festivals in Yoruba land.
Today is highly significant in the history of Ile-Ife. One, we are having the first Oni, celebrating the first Olojo ever since he has ascended the throne of his forefathers. The same thing is applicable to myself as Oshogo. This is my first Odun Olojo. Olojo is a significant festival that will celebrate in Ife. By and large, Ife at home and in diaspora.
The Olojo Festival is one of the most ancient of festivals in Ile-Ife, the acclaimed cradle of the Yoruba race.